All right, so now we are going to talk about the other most important pages on your website, and those are your product pages. Here's what we're going to cover today. I'm going to tell you why they're the most important. It's pretty straightforward. You might be able to have a couple good guesses here. I want to talk about the essential questions that people ask when they land on a product page and they're deciding and debating whether or not they want to put that in their cart. I want to talk about some conversion assets, and then, a little bit on dealing with different catalog sizes and what, a large catalog store, does it require as much as one that's just like focused on one product? And then finally, I'm going to just touch briefly on guarantees and tell you, how to approach those with the best way, get the most sales out of it and the least returns. Okay, so the product page is so incredibly important because this is where the buying decision is made. Okay, so when we talk about TBIF, this is where that all comes together and coalesces into one final place where everything that they might think about or might have any kind of misgiving on, you need to answer. You need to, get that objection right out of there and get them putting that thing in their cart. Okay, the goal here is to build high converting product pages. And you do that by building trust, reducing anxiety, providing guarantees. Okay, so, and here is exactly how you do that. And I'm going to give you this layout as well. Everything is really visual. So like 60% of your sale is going to come from your photos and your images and your videos and all that stuff. So be as visual as possible, as many photos as you can that make sense. One of my favorite websites of all time, they're a fashion brand, and literally it's just scroll forever in different formats and different styles and videos of just photo after photo, and finally ends up with the product on a white backdrop. So every kind of style you can do. Okay, you want video of product in use. You want video from the owner, and strategies around here are, you don't want this product page to be endless, so you can kind of tab things out. Give people the answer to everything that they might ask. Not even that they're going to ask, but what they might ask. Okay, you want sizing charts, especially if you can make them unique to each product, where they can click and see like this model is this size. I'm talking about clothing here, black hair, for example, could really use a sizing chart. People cannot touch your products. They can't smell them, right? All they can do online is see them. So we have to do everything possible here to get our senses across, right? You want to show that fabric almost like magnified, right? You want to make sure that you want to make it feel like they've worn that product. Show your clothing in different size models, right? Things like that. Be creative. Anything and everything can and will work. So it's just about you trying and figuring things out. Features and bundles. Storytelling is huge. I'll talk more about that. Obviously, you want to have your functional aspects like product specs. If you have a larger catalog, shipping, you might just rely on your footer for that, but like put your shipping information, especially if it's positive, on your product page. Because that is always the first thing people are thinking is, okay, how much is it going to ship? When's it going to arrive? Is it time sensitive? You want people to know that. You want to have an offer potentially on your product page that's specific to that product. This is really, a lot of work, and it's going to be hard to do. But if you're driving traffic from ads to a specific product, having an offer that is specific to that product is going to be massively impactful, rather than just relying on your welcome offer that happens on the homepage and every other page, right? Again, it costs us a lot of money to buy traffic to land on our site. We want to put that money to the best use possible. You want to have reviews on there, of course. Specific product reviews are the best. Verified product reviews. On Shopify, we use a great app called Judge.me. Highly recommend it. I have no affiliation with them whatsoever, but their customer support is incredible. So go get that, and it's super cheap. Not only reviews, but testimonials. Why not? Put some canned text in there. They're not as powerful as like a verified review, but still good to have if that's what you got. Video testimonials. This is the be all end all. If you can get your customers to send you video, user generated content or UGC of them talking about how amazing this product is, how amazing you are, you got it, right? Throw that in there on your product page. More social proof, any kind of credibility, PR, and finally guarantees, which we'll talk a bit more about shortly. Appeal to the senses. appeal to the emotions, right? Go back to your before and after grid, pull from there. Go to your customer avatar. Who specifically are you talking to? Show them as much as you possibly can in as much detail as you possibly can. And here are a couple questions that people might ask about your product, just to get the juices flowing here and the gears turning. All right, what does the product look like? Absolutely. Photos are everything. Imagery is everything. How does it work? Do you have something that, needs explanation? Is it going to be difficult to operate? Is it like one of those one-wheel skateboard things that might not be safe, right? You have to eliminate all these objections. What are the specs, features, and benefits? Of course. How is it delivered and how much will it cost? Your pricing, are you having these transactional attributes in there? Are you able to return it and how? All right. We'll talk about guarantees in a sec. And how can you trust this brand? Are you coming off as if you're like a, drop shipping dude in his mom's basement in his Ginch? You don't want to come off as that guy. You want to come off as a business, right? You are a legit business. Even if you are a legit business, I've seen websites that make me think those guys aren't a legit business. So it's all about credibility. It's all about trust. So I just want to talk about the power of storytelling, guys. And this comes back to our example of black hair, where, t-shirts. Everybody sells t-shirts, right? There's a product market fit there. People have to wear shirts. I'm wearing a shirt. But how do you differentiate and get people to buy your shirts? And yes, these guys absolutely have super cool designs. And yes, that's probably going to do a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of sales. But if you look real close on the side there, they also deploy storytelling. And Nick there, again, yeah, he's like a famous artist. He has a cool story and he has inspiration behind why he made this shirt. You have a cool design. What takes that design beyond just a cool design is that there's like power, there's richness behind it. There's a cool, unique story. And literally, you'll probably be inclined to talk about it. If your friend is like, hey, cool shirt, be like, yeah, it's by this guy, Nick. He was like a Canadian dude and he lived in trees and that's why there's leaves. I don't know if that's the actual story, but probably. Okay, so some of you guys might be asking, I have 10,000 products on my store. How am I supposed to do all of this work for every single product? And there's a couple answers to this, or a couple parts to the answer. First is a lot of this content there is repeated, so universal, right? So like your return policy, your shipping policies, a lot of that's going to be there already. And you do want to have that on every product page. Or like I said, you can have the footer do some heavy lifting or the header or whatever you want. The second thing is, and I'm a huge proponent that even if you do have 10,000 products on your store would do a ton better if every one of those products was bust out to the degree that we just looked at. So what you want to do though, because that's literally going to take 10,000 hours, which is like years, is take your best selling 10 products and start there. Okay. And then just work your way down and maybe set goals around it. Say you want to do one per week, right? And by the end of the year, by a couple of years, you'll have 50 products that are your best selling products. And I can almost guarantee that those top 50 products are like going to be 80 to 90 to 98% of your revenue. So you're going to have a huge chunk of them done. So that's a great strategy for that. And as I mentioned, I'm going to hook you guys up with this 12-point product page audit. And I want you to go through that and, see where you can improve, see where you can change things. These are all, tried and true tested strategies that we deploy. Finally, let's talk a little bit about guarantees, because there's nothing I hate more than seeing wasted space on a website or on a product page with someone who thinks they have a really good guarantee that's like boosting their conversion rate, but really it's doing literally nothing. Okay, so the heat of your guarantee hinges on specificity. Okay, so here's a really bad example of a guarantee. Satisfaction guaranteed. That means nothing to me. And what we're trying to do here is eliminate the risk. Okay, by saying satisfaction guaranteed, it's vague. What is satisfied? Like to what level do I have to be satisfied? Right? I'm somewhat satisfied. It's like, well, yeah, we hit our guarantee then. Good example, and this might be too extreme. However, I've seen this work, is the best coffee you have ever had, or we will give you your money back. Right? That just says like, you're gonna be stoked on this coffee. And if you're not at all slightly, you can get a refund. And the way these things work is that 99% of the time, even if someone is not stoked on like the best coffee they've ever had, they're probably not going to take the hassle of returning it. Or they're going to be like, it's actually really good. Or they're going to forget all about the guarantee that they read on the website when they first bought it, and a week later it arrived and they, had to finish their last bucket of coffee over here before they cracked into this one. Guarantees work. They have to have teeth. All right, guys, so we have learned a ton about websites in the last little bit. To be honest, there is so much more, and this is a course that could be like, it's literally university courses for 4 years. So there's tons more to learn. The one big takeaway I want to leave you with is that a website is never complete. You always want to be tinkering. You always want to be adding to it. We talked about kind of site architecture. You can play around with that. We talked about how to build a perfect homepage. You're going to be changing things. Like I said, as the seasons come and go, as the promotions come and go, you're always working on it. And those product pages, especially if you have massive catalogs, never stop trying to perfect those product pages. Dial it in. Okay, see you guys in the next module.